excited
Thank
for you
you.
guys.
Thank you so much.
I know my brother has I have two nieces. My brother has two girls, and I remember when they were born, I was just like, "Good luck, bro.
Oh,
You're gonna be you're gonna be paying for their weddings, my friend." Actually, I'll help with it, but
oh,
but it always falls on the family, right? To pay for the wedding for the
Not always. I
um,
don't understand all that.
that's just tradition, I guess. I guess it
That's
doesn't
just
have
no,
to.
it has to do basically from when um back in the day, like arranged marriages
Oh,
and
possibly.
shit like that.
Yeah.
The
Well,
way that came
Essentially,
about,
your wife was chattel.
hmm.
the way that actually came about is it had to do with the dowry.
Okay, that was the word I was thinking of.
And
Dowry. Yeah,
the
yeah,
the husband had to be able to provide, or the groom had to be able to show that he would be able to provide
yeah. Hmm.
for the bride. And
oh.
that's why the husband is supposed to pay for the wedding.
No, we were
Or
saying the
the
dad
husband,
pays for the wedding.
well, yeah, the husband, but it's not the bride, the bride's father, it's the dad's father.
Oh, maybe I had it
No,
backwards then.
it's the bride's father.
No,
That's what I always thought too.
It's the
Anyway,
go
it's
bride's
back.
okay.
father.
It's okay. Well,
It's a whole
well,
topic. It's a whole topic.
I know that's a whole nother discussion, folks. But we are live. We are on YouTube live right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and kick us off. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Friends with Benefits podcast. I'm Justin. This is Pansy. We are
Welcome,
now
everyone.
on. Hello.
Yeah, which
We're
episode are we on now?
Yeah, right. What
Uh,
episode are we on? We're on episode 49 right now. So,
that's it? Oh,
yeah, I believe so.
I thought we were in the 50s. No, not yet.
Oh,
That's
no,
right.
I'll let you
Then
know
we
when
would
we're
be
on
almost
50.
at a year, and that's coming up though,
Yeah,
like almost a year. Yeah.
it is. It is. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but a good roller coaster. And yeah, and again,
If
we
you
have
say
some,
so. Not all of it was good.
well, I think most of it was good. You can, yeah, I mean, whatever. There's going to be
But
stuff
a
like
lot of
that, but
things that have been like going on in the background, right? And at least in my personal life,
mhm.
are coming, to a new beginning. Let's say that. Like
Which is great, which by the way, I'm super excited for you. And I know it's like it's been long in the coming, but this is part of it, right? This is like the minute, and I've said this before, the minute you try and change your life and better your situation, life likes to throw curveballs at you.
a
Like
lot
a
of them.
lot of curveballs.
A lot of the
And,
like, let me
and
just dump the whole box now.
for real though, right? And I mean, and I've told people this before. It's like if you're you're on the right track when problems start to come roll heavy, right? That's how you know you're literally paying your dues. That's called. But it never fails either. But either way, we've had our trials. There's look, there's more to come. It's all right. We become resourceful and we get good at solving problems and you grind and you move on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're
Soon
on
we'll both
episode
be saying like, "Oh, that's it."
Right, that's it right now. I
That's
know.
it.
Like this whole idea of you're gonna retire and walk into the sunset. I don't know that that really exists anymore. And by the way, I know for a fact, like my mom and some folks in my family, if they weren't entrepreneurs, they probably would have died early. Like having that purpose and having that drive, literally has, I think personally, has helped to keep them vibrant, keep them alive, and keep them going, right? Because the minute I've say this before
I
too.
don't know if I'd want us to. I wouldn't. I don't know. I have. It's been a long time since I had any kind of job,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
I've been mostly an entrepreneur most of my life. Nothing major, but
mhm,
still more self-employed, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I couldn't like. I don't know. I don't know. So
Imagine
it
it any
depends on
other
the
way.
job, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
imagine it
there could
another
be
way.
some fulfilling jobs out there.
Oh, sure, of course.
You
There
know,
and look, if you work at W2, I still work at W2. There's nothing wrong with that. But my drive is pushing me away from that. And even some of my mentors, talk about it. It's like they get scared thinking about going back to a job, right? And but you know what? That purpose and being self-sufficient and working for yourself is the dream, obviously, but it comes with a lot of ugliness that people don't like to talk about, right? You really do. You really have to completely shift your entire mindset.
I agree.
Because we've all been programmed for a long time to be worker bees. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you found joy and satisfaction in that and doing that, and then more power to you. But
But we're not here for that. We
we're not
that's
here
why
for
we
that.
bring you our friends that are doing
That's
things
right.
differently.
That's right. And speaking of which, I'm really excited to bring up our next guest for today's show. And that we're going to get into the topic of, being self-sufficient and learning new ways of making income and, being independent, right? So,
Well, it's
I
not just about making money too. We want to learn how to manage it, right? And set it up in the
sure,
proper accounts
but that
too.
plays into this as well. That plays into
Yeah.
this topic as well.
Nice.
And that's why I really like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's why I really like this topic. Well, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. Roxy Acosta, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
I
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear
We can
you.
hear you.
Welcome,
Awesome. Hi,
welcome.
hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of
Of
course. Thank you for being here. So
course.
Roxy is a trader. She's an options trader and mentor. She founded Women and correct me if I'm wrong. I forget the name. Women in Trading,
Finance.
Women in Finance. Ah,
Finance, yeah.
I
It's
already
okay.
screwed it up. I already screwed it up. So Women in Finance, but 7+, I think we're going on 8+ years or more now, right? In experience in trading, correct?
7+, I'll be going into 8 years in September.
That's amazing. And
Hmm.
and just to give you an idea, Roxy teaches her women's group options trading and and the skills behind being a trader. Um, and tell me what do you charge those folks to learn how to trade with you?
It depends, right? I have if it's like a one-on-one, are we talking about like my one-on-one mentorship or Build Academy?
You're just
We're
getting
ta
to the guts. Why do you do that? Like, let
well
her
we're
talk about
we're
herself first.
I'm just curious. Well, I want to give people a preface to this, but let's just put it this way. It's it's not it's full of information and education and learning how to trade, but Roxy's experience in what she's doing and what she's brought to her women's group is pretty phenomenal, especially given the fact that you're a full-time mom, or are you yeah, and wife now, and you've got your whole personal life going on, and then you're also doing trading and you're teaching people how to trade, which is phenomenal. And let's just say this, it's not cheap, right? It's not cheap.
Well, I
That
guess it
and
depends
nor
on what
should it
you're
be.
how you look at it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
Oh,
don't,
that's true too. Good
you
that's
know,
point.
true. That's
it's a
true.
Good point.
perspective. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean,
It's only expensive when you to give it value.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if
Hmm.
it brings you more money, it's not really that expensive, is it? You know.
That's true. You gotta see the value in it, and that's what we're going to talk about. We'll get into that, but you're right, Pansy. I need to let her introduce herself. For folks who are watching, especially watching after the fact, and for folks who don't know you, start with that. How did you get started in this? Where do you hail from, and give us a little rundown of how you got into this whole
Who
thing.
you are. I
Yeah.
want to know
Of
who.
course, well, like you mentioned here, first and foremost, thank you for having me. And yes, I'm Roxy Acosta now. Just got married on Sunday, so I'm Mrs. Acosta now.
Awesome.
Yes. And I love this topic here because, I was not an entrepreneur before. I used to be a paralegal for many, many years.
Mhm.
So I've been in that, corporate world, and I got divorced. So Penny, it's not always a bad thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when that happened, I had to go
You
my
look
own
so
way.
young. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but you look so young.
Thank you,
And
thank you. Well, I
and
got married young.
so did I. Like, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, you're already married, and like, getting your second marriage.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, but you look like a baby
Thank you.
still. No offense.
Thank you.
That's a good
I
thing,
know
though.
they think that my oldest, they think that they've gotten, people think that he's my boyfriend or something. I was like, no, my son.
Nice. You're like, that's my son, guys. Relax. Yeah.
Stop, relax. Yes. Um, but yeah, I was not in the entrepreneur world before. Like I said, I was a, 9 to 5 paralegal. And once I started getting my own wings, I knew that I wasn't going to make it as a single mom and, the rent,
Yeah.
inflation here. And I was like, what else can I do to bring an extra source of income to my pocket where I could afford, myself and my 3 kids at
Right.
that time. And that's when I was exposed to option trading. I was going to like millionaire mentor workshops, anything that had to do with personal growth, personal development, breaking limited beliefs.
Hmm.
And that's when one of those seminars I got introduced to options trading. And when I learned that you can make money off your phone from anywhere in the world, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
let's stop.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Big deal. Yeah, that's
Yes.
huge.
It
That's
was
huge.
it was just, it was mind blowing. And of course I paid for a 3-day workshop. I paid like $700.
Mhm.
That's
And
not
that's
bad.
when, no, that wasn't bad. It was a 3-day workshop. But then of course they offered their mentorship. It was $15,000.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I didn't have $15,000 at that time.
Yeah.
So long story short, negotiated it to $8,000, and I still didn't have $8,000. So I spoke to my sister, and my sister, I told her, I'm like, I really want to learn this. I could see this for me. And she said, listen, sis, I paid over $80,000 for my master's degree.
Yeah.
$8,000 is nothing.
Yeah. Think
So,
about that for a second, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty,
oh
yeah.
my God, when she told me that, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. If you really believe in it, and that's like a testimony for me. If I believed in it and I was going to stay committed to it, she helped me get this course, pay the $8,000. And like we said, it was a lot of money for me at that time, but it was something that I was going to commit to,
Right.
and I didn't give myself no option but to learn,
Yeah.
right? There was no
Nice.
quitting, there was no nothing.
I'm gonna get
So
this.
I'm gonna
There's
get
no other
this.
choice.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get this.
Yeah.
And I did, thanks to my sister. And the first thing I did was, when I became profitable, the first thing I did was pay off her credit card.
Of
You know,
course. Of
that was
course.
the first thing I
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
so,
But I bet you that felt so good though. How good did that feel?
oh my gosh,
Right?
it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great, and I'm so thankful for her for believing in me as well. So that's how I got into option trading. And then when I learned I always say we have different milestones when you're a trader. My
Yeah.
first milestone that I hit was when I was able to make in a few minutes what I used to make in a full day as a paralegal.
Yeah.
To me, I felt rich. I
Yeah.
was like, you're kidding?
You're like, did I just really make this much money just now?
And like 5, 10 minutes? You kidding
That's
me
funny.
right now, right? And we're talking about, I used to get paid like $33 an hour as a paralegal. So what I
Yeah.
had to make about $300 a day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So to me, that was the first milestone, and consistently, of course, that was the first milestone I hit that I gained time freedom.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me because I no longer had to ask for permission to go to my kids' parent conference.
Nice.
I
Rush
remember
it.
those days. Yeah.
Yes,
But
rush
that's
it out
also
of
a big deal too. That's a big
no,
deal.
yeah, rush it out of work because I have to go pick up I had 3, and there was at one point they were all in different schools.
Ah,
So
yeah.
I had to put them in after school programs and all that stuff. So I didn't have to no longer rush out of work because I have to pick up one up and the next one and the next
Yeah.
one. And so
Yeah.
to me, that was the first milestone that I hit that changed my life, gaining that time freedom. So that's how I got into it. It,
I
it
would
was
say
just,
more than money, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'd say
yeah,
more than money, that time freedom is, I think, what people are really looking for. When people say they want money, like the money is great, it can buy you things and all of that. But I think what everybody's really looking for is that freedom, right? That time freedom and just the freedom to make your own decisions and do what you're gonna do, right? And have that freedom. So, would you say that I heard you describe, like, once you realize that you could make this kind of money remotely, like you could just do it on your mobile phone. Would you say that was maybe the first, like, defining moment or eye-opening moment for you, or was it once you realized, like, that time freedom
it
as
was,
you were doing this?
I would say, I mean, a combination of both, right?
Yeah,
Because I had to make a certain amount,
yeah,
right? Because it wasn't like, I had to pay bills, I have to pay rent, I have
right,
kids. And I didn't
right.
want to be dependent on whether I was going to receive child support or not.
Yeah,
That was going to be an addition, right? I needed to feel safe and, that I can provide for my kids.
yeah,
So that's why the money part was also, I would say important because I had to make a certain amount of money a
yeah,
month. So that I had to, that was I would say that was the first thing because once I was able to make that consistently, then I had to make a decision of like, okay, you're not going back to work. You're
right.
quitting and that's it,
And
right? But
and
I
was
had
that
to make
scary
it.
for you? Was that kind of a scary moment for you when you kind of cut the cord from working, or was it just at that point was like, I'm making so much at this point, it's kind of a no-brainer?
Yeah, it was not scary for me.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I know I've helped women
Hmm.
get out of their 9 to 5, or either they've completely let it go or they've become full-time to part-time.
Nice.
And they tend to kind of, because I'm their mentor, so they do feel a little scared,
Yeah.
But I didn't experience. I was like, whew,
You're like, I'm done. Yeah.
I was just happy,
Yeah. Yeah. You're like
I was
jumping for joy.
excited. I was
Yeah.
like,
You're like, I'm making the income that I had
Yeah.
over here, I'm making it over here
in a
quicker.
few
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
less
done.
work. Okay, no, I don't think I would have had a problem either. But then again, I never had a problem telling like no and going and finding a different way, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe a
yeah,
better way, different way.
Yeah.
Like every job I took was a job. Like I knew it was temporary. I
Yeah.
never planned on staying there and working my way through the company and all that. Like I'm like, unless I'm gonna eventually own it, I don't know that I'm gonna put that much work into this place.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just here to make a buck and get my bills
I
paid,
think that's a lot of people.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
that's
and
yeah.
and to that point, that was another thing too, that afterwards, I'm like, how much can I really make? What is my cap as a paralegal?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hard, I mean, I don't know what it is now, but back in the days, I think it was anywhere from maybe like 75K, 80K,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's,
about what my friend makes. Yeah. That's about right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
It's
like
not
my,
horrible, but
I mean,
you
no,
you probably
but
make that
you know,
way quicker now.
yeah, it's just, I mean, with with the stock market, you have no limit. You really have no limit. And this is why I took this as serious, like as a career path. And knowing that there is no limit. I have 7 years in the industry, but I feel like I've only hit the tip of the iceberg. There's
Nice.
so much more.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
would agree.
yeah, 7 years.
Yeah,
I'm
just
like,
the small stuff confuses, like it's interesting, don't get me wrong, the trading and all of that. And like I learned a little bit about it, but I was like, yeah, like that's somebody else, that's not me.
Yeah,
you'd
but you
be
know what?
surprised.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Roxy.
Yeah.
No, I just say you'd be surprised.
You would
Well,
be.
maybe, I don't know, but you got to know how my brain works though. So, like,
Oh.
Well, I will say, and I know Roxy would probably agree with me, trading, just like anything, it's not for everybody,
yeah, no,
right?
exactly. Exactly. That's why we have many different options on here with
Yeah,
our different people. Like, if you
yeah,
don't like this, go check out another video and check out
Yeah.
our buddies' videos. There's lots
Yeah.
of ways to make money,
There's
you
lots of
know?
ways but it's also like, for you, Roxy, when you got started, because you talked about you spent a good deal of money on a mentorship. You bought maybe a less expensive mentorship, but that initial part, it took you a while. You had to be dedicated. You had to put your head down and study and really learn it, right? And so that path going through that, you really do have to decide for yourself, like, is this what I really want to dedicate myself to? Because it can't, just like anything else, you can't be bouncing from 20 different things trying to get
Yeah.
good at it, right? So you have to be
Yeah.
focused on it. And
Yeah.
but again, once you see the returns, it gets easier, I'm sure, as time goes on. But um yeah. So let me ask you this really quick. What
Mhm.
was, because I've kind of had this question for a while that I wanted to ask you. What was some of, like, when you first got started, what was some of your biggest maybe misconceptions about trading? And this can kind of play into what Pansy's talking about, because there's a lot of people that think like, oh, this is so just overly complicated. And they look at the charts and the numbers, and it can be very overwhelming. It can be intimidating, right? But
Right.
yeah, what were some of yours going into it? What were some of your biggest misconceptions that you had about trading as you got into it?
Yeah, I would say the first one that comes up is like, I thought I had to be good with math,
Ooh,
because
that's a
you
good
think
one.
numbers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, I'm never was good at math. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
because you think numbers, but you really don't.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you're not dividing anything, you're not multiplying
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
So that was one of the first things. And then second, I would say, I had no, I would hear a lot about the trading psychology part,
yeah,
and I thought that I was going to have that under control.
yeah, yeah. That's a big
And
part of it. Yeah,
oh my goodness,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
All your skeletons will come out. Your
yeah,
relationship with money is
yeah,
going to reflect your trading. So, I was completely under the understanding that in my mind that I was like, no, the psychology part, I'm pretty healthy in my mind and all that stuff. But yeah, I would say that would be, I think that was the biggest part. That was the biggest one where I had to really focusing more on my psychology versus how much money I want to make.
yeah, yeah.
Your
That's a
mindset
really good
and
point.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
point.
that's with a lot of entrepreneurs, and we've spoken about this so many times, the different mindsets and the different and it's not just like bam, you flip your mindset. It's several things over and over and over. You're learning more, like you said, you're learning more about yourself and your habits and this and that. And you're like, oh, I thought I was learning how to make money here, like kind of thing, like, just give me the formula to make the money. I don't, a lot of people are like, I want to skip the other part, but it's just
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
The physical, mental, spiritual, all of that goes into your,
It's more important than anything
yeah.
else.
yeah,
So
It's the
that's the
most
part that
important
I'm more
part.
interested in life is the more of the spiritual side and
Mhm.
whatnot of life and money too,
Yeah.
you know. So I get it. Dang. I love this. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I get to know when somebody, I have a student that hires me as a mentor. I get to know them real quick within 1 month,
yeah,
because of I could see it, in their trading and so forth. Somehow I've become like I'm a trading coach and mentor and educator, but honestly, I think I'm more of a life coach, unlicensed life coach.
That makes sense though. That makes sense though. It 100% makes sense. In fact, you know what? I want to
Yeah.
share something with folks, because I'm also learning. I was going to share this a little bit later, but I'm also learning from Roxy right now on options trading.
Well,
And
being an entrepreneur and building your own business, I think that automatically puts you as like a leader, right? In a
yeah,
leadership role. So it's not necessarily coaching, but you're a leader now. People are looking up to you, right? And that's something that we all need to keep in the back of our heads, whether we're an entrepreneur or not, is that people are watching us, especially the young ones in our families and stuff. And what if, you know, you may not be officially a coach, but to somebody else, you're a leader.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're an influencer for sure. And people are watching you, especially the young ones. And by the way, kids are not dumb. In fact, you shouldn't discount what your kids are seeing in you and because they're paying attention. I know for my nieces, like I don't have kids of my own, but I helped bring up my nieces and they pay attention, boy. They know what's going on.
Oh,
For the most part, they know what's going on.
yeah.
So, in that vein of the mindset, I want to share a slide that you shared with us, and this is just one little excerpt from Roxy's training, but I want to share it with you guys because it's really important and it kind of sinks into this. I'll let you talk on it a little bit, Roxy, but
Okay.
it really sinks into the mindset and how your emotional state plays a huge role in your ability to trade and be successful trading. And I think this what you had mentioned in your training videos that this was actually made by one of your students, right? This chart was actually made by one of your students.
Oh,
So
I
I
know
want to
which one you're gonna bring up.
yeah. I want to share this, right? This guy right here. I don't know if you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can kind of see without going too much into the weeds, you can kind of see what this does, right? So and you can talk about this at any point, Rox, but you can see like fear causes you to exit trades early, right? Or miss trades because you're scared, right? Greed causes you to chase trades when you should have gotten out a long time ago, right? Or late exits, like yeah, you should have exited that trade a long time ago, or chasing trades that you know that you should know are probably not worth your time to chase, right? Overconfidence, that's a big one. That's one of the ones that I'm actually
Yeah.
concerned about for myself because I start learning a thing, and this is just me understanding my own brain, but I start learning a thing and you start getting a little bit of momentum and a little bit of success with it, and you can get overconfident. It's a really easy thing to have happen for at least for me. Yeah, then you take on more risk, right? And you start making bad entries or bad trades, right? Because you're just overconfident. But this is one of those things that if your guys are watching, take a screenshot of this because pay, yeah. I don't know. Do you want to add anything to that? I mean, this was one of the biggest things I took away from early in your training, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow. And whoever
Mhm.
created this, I think you mentioned her name. We don't have to mention her name now here if you
Yeah.
don't want to, but
Oh,
um,
yeah.
okay, you're like, yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
can.
if you want to mention, so she's one of your students. What was her name?
Griselda.
Griselda. Okay. Did you
Go.
say Griselda or Griselda?
Griselda with a G.
Oh,
Griselda.
Griselda. Okay.
Yeah.
And man, this is talk about having some emotional insight, right?
Yeah.
To be able to create this.
Well, she got
Uh,
her master's degree in like human psychology.
oh,
She's
okay.
so,
Yeah.
this was just so perfect. I'm like, oh my goodness. We worry about how intimidating the charts look.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should worry about our emotions is what we really should be concerned
Yeah. Yeah. And believe me, I took that to heart when you said that for sure. But you
about.
can kind of get an idea from this chart, and it's I mean, it's really is spot on
It is.
of how it actually goes. But sometimes for me, sometimes it's when you're not looking from the outside in, it can be really hard to tell these things about yourself until after the fact. Like hindsight's always 2020, so you've already made the mistake and you're like, oh crap. But sometimes that's how it has to go, right? But at least with this, you can kind of get yourself prepared mentally on the emotional side of it. So I really like this, and I just wanted to kind of share that with everybody really quick. But yeah. Um,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, when she did a presentation, I had a seminar, and I was like, you know what? I would love for you to speak on trading psychology because that's,
yeah,
your expertise and you're a successful trader now. And she put these slides together. I was like, oh my
that's
gosh.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this: why did you choose? I know there's so many different avenues to go down in trading. What was it about options trading that really excited you, that got you really interested in it?
Well, I would have to say the seminar that I mentioned earlier that I went to,
Mm,
they spoke on options trading. I come from a zero background in any type of trading or investing or anything like that. So I knew zero. So that was the
okay.
first time I was ever even exposed to the stock market.
Yeah.
So it's just what I was introduced to first, and I just stayed there,
Just
you
stayed
know.
there. Okay.
I
Fair
just
enough.
stayed there. Like I mentioned earlier, it was like either I get it or I get it. So
Yeah. Yeah. No,
then I
that's a good
learned
point.
about different
So for
assets.
those who don't understand or know what you're speaking of, what is options trading?
Okay, so
Please.
if you know what the stock market is, well, it's pretty much what you're doing is instead of investing into the stock market or trading the stock market as individual shares and becoming, right? Because when you buy shares in the stock market, you become like a 0.0000 owner and you receive dividends and so forth, right?
Yeah.
You could
Well, it
trade it
depends
too.
on the type of stock, but yeah.
Yeah, it depends, you're right?
Yeah.
There's varieties, but with options, options was created to hedge investments, meaning, in other words, simple terms, I like to tell people, think of it as like an insurance, okay? Because a lot of people don't know that you can make money while the market is going down. You hear about a crash, people are like going crazy, fear. It's like, oh my God, isn't the market doing bad? For us day traders, we can make money even when the market goes down
Hmm.
with options. So what options is pretty much an insurance for those like institutions, banks that invest heavily, and we're talking about 200 million, $300 million, right? They go ahead and hedge their portfolio with options.
Hmm.
So in case the market crashes, they're going to make money with options as the market goes down. So, and even more simplified, think of it as like a coupon. Okay, think option contract as a coupon. So let's say a shoe store is selling a pair of sneakers for $100. So you could go ahead and buy a coupon, secure the price of $100. Okay. And let's say you paid $5 for that coupon. Okay. So that coupon is the option contract. And let's say later on in 2 weeks, those sneakers are now selling for $150, but you have that coupon that says you could buy them for 100. That's what an option contract is in simple terms. So what
Yeah.
you do is, guess what? Your coupon earned value now. Now
Yeah.
you could sell that coupon to somebody else for 100%, which would be $10, because would you rather buy the sneakers for at $100, pay me another $5 to buy those shoes for 100, or pay the 150, right?
Yeah.
For what the shoe is selling. That's pretty much what option contracts are.
Yeah. And without getting in, and again, Roxy, I didn't want you necessarily to come on here and give out your whole trading or training or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah,
But
no.
from a basic perspective, they're contracts, right? And
Yeah.
you can buy contracts based on you believing the stock is going to go down, or based
Yep.
on you believing the stock is going to go up in value. And that's where, and we can talk a little bit about that too. That's where technical analysis comes in. And I think that's
Yes.
where a lot of people, and even myself too, like I'm very technical. I love the technical aspect of it. That's where my brain kind of like starts to fire more than maybe most people. But
Yeah.
I know the technical analysis aspect turns a lot of people off or scares people a little bit, right? Because it's like, oh man, just like you said, I got to know all this math or all of that, and it's really not like that. In fact,
No.
and we'll talk about this. You're training now, you're coaching now in the Build Network, and I've brought up the Build Network before on the other show that I did actually with your husband, Matthew. So
Okay.
yeah, and I first of all, I love the Build Network, but there's actually you've got Roxy on there, and you've also got Donnie Pips, and I don't know if they're bringing in some other folks too, but Donnie teaches Forex, and these are two different styles of trading. That's all. It's all you really need to worry about for now. Is they're just two different styles of trading, and Roxy has her course in there. And again, I kind of prefaced this in the beginning, but Roxy, her women's group, she it's not cheap, okay? But in the Build Network, it's 97 bucks a month, and you can learn from these two amazing traders and get real actual mentorship training from them. I think you guys do, what do you do in Zooms now? Like every week, like twice or three times a week?
Yeah, we have for the live actually teaching sessions is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And we have live trading Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things too. Sometimes it's just a little, I start work typically at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And the 6 a.m. Live trading, or not even just the 6 a.m. one, but the live tradings are definitely my favorite. Because that's where, for me, how I learn, I love being like a fly on the wall and watching it in real time, like how you guys are doing it. That's like one of my favorite things to watch. Um,
I
but
think a
yeah,
lot of
and
people learn well that way.
yeah, and by the way, for those who are watching after the fact, I'm gonna have links to the Build Network so you can join if you're interested in joining. But I'm telling you, the caliber of training, Roxy and Donnie's training in there are second to none. And you don't.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I'm being honest. I'm not just trying to blow sunshine. I really believe, like, wholeheartedly
Thank
believe that,
you.
because I've watched tons of YouTube videos. I've researched this for quite a while, and a lot of the training is all kind of the same. It's in the same vein. There are some great teachers out there, don't get me wrong. But again,
Mhm.
I mean, what is your average? You spent 15 grand, right? I mean, that's actually not very much compared to what some of these professional traders are charging people to learn the
Yeah.
craft, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I know of a guy who's charging 75,000, 50,000,
Woo!
right? Yeah. There's there, but now he's there. This guy is teaching more than just one version or one um
Concept.
pathway, right? Or
Mhm.
concept. Yeah, he's teaching multiple concepts, but still, and to get access to you guys is really really cool. So anyways, that's my plug for the Build Network. I'm not going to say any more about it, but I'll put the link.
Yeah.
I'll put the link for it in the description. So to keep going here, I do really want to touch a little bit more on the mindset part of it.
Hmm.
Do you have any like mental health habits or daily rituals that help you stay consistent and focused when you're, especially when the market is so volatile, right? I mean, it's like, how do you stay focused on it?
I mean, when
Obviously it's your job, or it's how you make your money and everything, but like, how do you how do you prepare yourself and just every day stay consistent at it?
yeah, I mean, obviously it took some time, right? But I having that self-awareness first is one of the something very, very key. So if I already know, if I have the awareness of like the first thing that comes up when I'm about to take a trade and I feel these emotions is uh I have to ground myself. For me, I love to pray. I'm
Yeah.
a woman of faith. So I definitely, every morning before I even get into trading, I have a ritual of getting up, even earlier and read a scripture or two, like depending on the emotions that I'm feeling.
Yeah. Love that.
So it grounds me. Um, so when I do get and touch that button, I'm grounded and I'm
Yeah.
calm
Yeah.
because the school systems were programmed to be, if you're an A student, if you're 90 to 100%, right, of the time, right, on
Mhm.
your tests and so forth. And to shift that in your brain also takes some time. It took me some time.
Mhm.
Um, with trading, if you really understand that you only have to be 50% right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
else, only 50% right of the
That's
time,
such a
as
good
long as
point.
you as
Yeah.
long as you have risk management. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's key. As long as
Yeah.
you have risk management. So just having all these awareness and learning how to ground yourself is one of the things that I
Oh,
do
I
every
love
morning.
that. I love that. I also do that. I actually read lines from the Bible every morning. So
Mhm.
that's been part of my routine that I built over time. So I love that. Actually,
Yeah.
I need to get a little bit more consistent with that part of it because there are some mornings that I skip, but I'll be honest, I can't lie about it. But
Yeah, it's
it does help though. It 100%
oh,
helps.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
it does for me. And I know
Yeah.
for folks who aren't spiritual or maybe aren't religious or whatever, there's other things you can do. Even just reading a favorite book maybe or something that kind of grounds you and calms you down in the morning, um, especially in the morning. But yeah, then you're hitting that button and making those trades for the right reasons, right? And you're not
Yeah.
chasing greed or all those other mental traps that we talked about earlier. Um,
Mhm.
so what would you say to men or women or anyone for that matter who thinks trading might be too risky or too complicated for them? What would be your advice to those folks?
Honestly, I don't have a college degree background.
Hmm.
I'm just a high school graduate, a college dropout,
Hmm.
and I promise that as overwhelming or intimidating those charts look, it's really, really not. And you always have everything is a risk in life.
Yeah.
Everything in a risk. I mean, putting yourself at risk at a job, yes. What you're risking is really true freedom. You
Mm.
know, the systems nowadays, oh, in order to retire, they're saying you have to the age of 62. Why?
Yeah.
You know, so
I
you're
think they're
putting
saying
that
more than that.
Yeah.
or 65, whatever that is. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're putting all that into risk,
Yeah.
so why not put yourself in a position where, I mean, you never know what's going to happen if you don't try it.
Yeah.
If I would have never bet on myself and took that risk, I wouldn't have the time freedom I have now. I
Yeah.
would have never created a community of women that I've successfully helped get them, leave their 9 to 5 jobs so they can be with their husbands, so they can be with their kids. So, think
Yeah.
about what are you really risking, I'm not saying a job is a bad thing. I'm not saying that, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah, that's one of the biggest things for me.
I like that. No, that's a great point because it's really what are you risking? It's not just money. I'd say with a 9 to 5 job too. One of the things you're risking is youth. I would say 9 to 5 jobs are kind of like it makes you feel secure, but
Yeah.
it's kind of an illusion, right? When you work for yourself, when you learn something like trading, it doesn't have to be trading, but when you learn and you're an entrepreneur and you learn a skill, you start stacking skills. And by the way, learning trading, you're not just learning the job or the business of trading, you're also learning how to govern your emotions. You're stacking all kinds of skills is the point I'm trying to
Oh my
make
God.
in any
Oh
endeavor,
yeah.
right? And and so that's another thing you're risking never getting to build those skills and just kind of staying stagnant, right? In
Yeah.
the under this sort of illusion that you're safe, right? Which is not really true, right? I've been let go of plenty of jobs, right? Randomly, not necessarily because of my fault, but just that's what companies do, right? To protect the bottom line, you're gonna get cut, right?
Yeah.
So that's
And
one of
what
the big risks. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like you let them determine your value.
yeah,
They get to determine how much they pay you.
that's a really good
And
point.
to
Yeah,
me, it's just like, I mean, I know I'm worth more than $3 an
yeah,
hour,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So that's another concept too. It's just like, why do they get to determine how much they pay you? You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So that
But
was,
that you had to discover that about yourself though too, right? You had to kind
oh,
of break through that.
I did so much self-discovery. I mean, because I
Yeah,
was I had the system embedded in me. So even like putting in more money to in my brain, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna risk more. So I had to break so many self-limited beliefs. I had to break so many toxic Um, I could say I had a toxic relationship with money because I was always, like I said, job is a so-called security.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then I also felt like I was only worth so much,
Mhm.
but I had to go through all those, I had to break all that,
Yeah.
in order for me to elevate in trading.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing that, yeah, and it takes time to do that, but you can't be afraid of it. And again, it's once you, for anything, for at least for me, and I can speak only from my perspective, is once you get into it, learning is always going to be somewhat painful. And people don't like talking about that. Learning anything new is going to be somewhat painful, but that's how you know you're learning. And once you get past that stage of it, for me anyways, it starts to get exciting, right? It starts
Like
to
that.
give you energy, right? And you start to you just start to progress, start to feel yourself progressing. So you got to get those little wins as you're learning. But yeah, I really love that. I'm glad you brought that up. And why should somebody be able to tell you how much you're worth? You should be able to discover it for yourself and right and just decide your own value, right? For yourself. Um what let's talk about this really quick because I'm we're getting close to the end, but I want to touch a little bit on new traders and people just getting into it. That's kind of the perspective I wanted to approach this from. What's a common mistake that you see a lot of new traders make, and maybe talk a little bit about how they can avoid it? I think we've touched on a little bit of that already, but I'd like
Mhm.
to see what, specifically you see like most often from new traders.
In general, like as far as like in general
Mhm.
or technical analysis or just anything that I see
Yeah, I'd
I,
say just in general,
immediately.
something that you see the most often new
Yeah.
traders do that could be easily avoided, maybe something like that, right?
Yeah. I would say it would be confusing what consistent looks like. Uh,
Ooh,
because we are talking about, right? You have to be a consistent, right? You have to be
yeah.
consistent. You have to be consistent. So people think that you have to be consistent on making coming out green every single day.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
that kind of goes back to what I said earlier, right? So
Yeah.
that's not, you're confusing consistency because what you need to be consistent of is your following your own plan. You have to be consistent on risk management. You have to be consistent on your discipline. You have to be consistent on your strategies, your edge. That's where I see that I have to really help a lot of the new traders that come in because they want to come in and they want to make consistent gains
Yeah.
versus
But they
consistent.
want to do it like part-time kind of, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's instead of consistent good habits, they want to have consistent gains, and that's where I have to do the
Ooh,
big
that's such
shift.
a good point. Yeah. That's yeah. I can see that. I can even see that in myself
Yeah.
already. Like no joke.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a big deal. And it's yeah, like what is you got to define that consistency, right? And what the real consistency that actually matters. Yeah, we all want to have consistent success, consistent gains and all of that. But
Yeah.
way more important, how about consistently getting up on time every day? Consistently, if you're
Yes.
if you're religious, consistently praying and building a relationship with God, consistently studying and learning new things, right? And upping your game. Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I would just say you'll be surprised. Like people, I've seen women cry. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's just like I, because they just see that they're only successful if they're come out green every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's like their measure of they
They're
sort
only,
of attach their
like
identity to it.
success kind of
Yeah.
thing,
yeah.
their measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just like they see, a red day and that's a failure. And if you're a failure, then right, you're not good. Right. So
No, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, don't attach your identity to it. That's
yeah.
the other thing is when you are not trading, you are not your success in trading.
Yeah.
You are you. You're your, your yourself, your family, your friends. That's who you are, right? It's
Yeah,
not your success in trading.
you're gonna learn more from red days, the beginning of your trading journey,
Yeah.
than you will than your green ones. If you're always on the green end, what do you need me for? What do you don't
Right. Yeah.
teach
Yeah,
me
right.
anything,
Right.
right? You're gonna
Right.
learn
Apparently you
from your
already
red,
know that.
like,
Yeah.
then you don't need me. I
I
love
I
red
can
days.
attest to that already. And I'm
Yeah.
only trading with I'm doing the sort of the funny money trading right now and
Oh,
learning.
okay.
But you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what I always forget what they call that. It's there's a name for it. I always forget the name of it. But anyways, the trading platforms allow you to not actually trade with real money, but you can trade in live, look at real charts and trade in like an active environment, but it's not with real money. So you can get a feel for the process and all of that and see how well you would do. And that's where I've been for a little while now, and I can tell you, but I've had some actual real gains too, and been like, dang, man, if I had actually put my own money in, I would have made a bunch of money there. But oh
But
well.
when you're red day, I'm
Yeah,
sure you're not saying the same thing.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
right.
exactly. Exactly. But it's you do learn, and when those red days happen, I'm
Yeah.
trying to self-analyze. I'm trying to go back and look, okay, where did I make the mistake here? Right? Was it the way I was doing my technical analysis? Of course, that's part of it, right? But was it how I timed it, or what was it, right? That screwed me up there. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do too. Sometimes it's like you
Oh,
could, and that's what, obviously what Roxy's talking about too, is just like you could be the best trader on the planet and you're still gonna have red days. Like it's
yep.
just the way the market is, you can't predict
It's all
everything the market is
probability.
gonna do. So, so let's do this. You founded Women in Finance. I want people to know, like, for the folks who are just watching, like, how can people get trained from you? How can people get in touch with you? What are some good contact methods for people?
Yeah, I have a website and I also have my Instagram page. I don't know if I could type it in here or how
Here,
could
let's do
I?
this. I'll show your page for me. Why don't you go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll show the page. I'll share my screen and show your website.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So it's
and
gonna be woman, like woman.
the other thing
Yeah.
I can say too is it's easy to get, for me, it's easy to get overwhelmed. So I have to take time and take a step back. And that's
Yeah.
just, forget trading. I'm just talking about it in a normal day. I have to take a step back and look at everything from a 10,000, 20,000 foot view and take a break and then come back, right? And that always helps me. And usually whatever that is, I go take walks. I'll go take my dog for a walk. You start feeling yourself getting, for me, when I start feeling overwhelmed, my nature is I want to sit there and I want to work through it and figure it out right then and there. But sometimes you really just have to
Mhm.
stop and get up and
Not
just
me. A lot of
walk
times I'm
away.
like, no, I
You're
need
just
to
like,
take a
nope, I'm
minute.
done. Yeah.
I need to take a minute or two or 10.
I wish I was
Yeah.
like, I really do wish I was like that. I really wish I was like
Uh,
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
especially if it involves electronics.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I can definitely attest to that. All right, let me share your website really quick for folks. I'm going to share my screen for everyone. So this is it, Women in Finance. And obviously you can come up here, join the community. There's the Trading Academy right there, but this is probably the best way for you guys to get in touch with Roxy on this level. But we also have something else here. We also have the Build community. And I'm a part of that, and I will put links to this in the description for those watching after the fact, for those interested in enrolling in Roxy and Donnie's training in here. So if you look, I'll just log in really quick, just to show a brief review of right here. So in the build community, this is the dashboard. Obviously, you get kind of dropped into this dashboard here, but you've got a bunch of stuff going on here that I won't touch on this episode. But the academy is where all the trading training lives, And beyond that, they also have, like I said, live Zooms every week, and you can get
Yeah.
into their I believe you guys also you have a Discord, I believe also. Um, and you know, communicate through that and also join the Zooms. But you can see right
Yeah.
here, they've already, I mean, it hasn't even been that long. You guys already have 61 videos in here. I'm still trying to freaking catch up from like a week ago. It's like, man, you know, but that's what's cool about it. It's really, really cool. And everything there's always something new in each one of these episodes to learn. And the live trading is again, that's probably my favorite part of it is getting on the actual live trading and watching what you guys do in real time. But you can see, I mean, we started this back in when was it? Started this back in oh September. Was it September or it was a little bit before that, I think. But you can see back in 25, so September, and they've been, you know, just continually building the training since then. And as you can see now, there's over 61 options trading videos and trainings in here. And then you've got Donnie's Forex trading. And it looks like they're bringing in futures too, which is pretty cool. I think the futures was still I don't think it's bilingual yet. I could be wrong about that. I don't oh maybe it is. No, maybe it is. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so the
think he does some, I think he does
Oh, he
do
does in
some
Espanol and in English. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So there is they do have English episodes in here now. So that's really cool. Yeah, so you got, I mean, again, you got options forex and futures trading in one platform. It's 97 bucks a month. And I promise you, you're not going to find the caliber of training that's in here for that price probably anywhere else. At least I haven't found it yet. So I don't know. Maybe there is somewhere, but anyway, so you can get in touch with Roxy through Build and join the Build trainings. And she's got her women in finance coaching, which is that's more of your again, that's more of your for women, obviously, but one-on-one coaching for women.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just, after, the first trading community that I was in, they had like over 1,000 members and there was only like 10 women in there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I need to bring more awareness
Yep.
in this industry, and bring more women.
I love that. No, I think that's
Mhm.
amazing. Well,
Yeah.
good for you, Roxy. I'm super excited. And again, I need to catch up on some of the, the new
No,
training.
it's
So,
okay.
but I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us on the
Thank
trading
you for
side
having me. It
and
was a
just all
pleasure.
of it.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
and yeah, I mean, I would love for you to come back at some point and catch up and see what new stuff you're doing. But yeah, until then, thank you again for coming,
Yeah,
and
of
we
course. Thank you
will,
for having me. It was great. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate you.
of
Thank you.
course, yeah,
Thank
of
you. Of
course.
course. Of course.
Yeah, we're
Thank
doing, and
you.
again, we're doing this, we're doing our podcast every week, and we're trying to hit it every Friday, but sometimes it doesn't happen, as some of
Mm.
our regular watchers will tell you. But we do it every week, and we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep bringing on great folks like Roxy, and hopefully Roxy will come back and do another episode of
Well,
this.
just let me know.
Awesome. All
Thank
right,
you so
guys. Well,
much.
I'm going to go ahead and take us off, but thank you so much, everybody, for watching and for the support. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you, Pansy. And we will be back next week. See you
Appreciate you.
guys later.
Mhm.
I usually let it run just for a second because the
Oh,
live
did
stream.
she dip?
Oh, she dipped. Yeah, yeah,
Oh. Just
yeah.
like peace.
Yeah. Well, she's also super. She's got 3 kids and a lot of shit going on. And I think we
How
That was
old
took.
is
great, guys.
she?
She's like 38.